In 2024, I made some crucial changes in my life. I started my YouTube channel. I built a more deeper connection with myself. I worked on being more productive. I also dissociated myself from people that were not adding value to me. And all these changes were made because of just one thing. And I know you might be asking, why weren't these changes made earlier? Well, it simply was because I was busy focusing on other things without actually remembering to focus on the most important thing, myself. And that's what a lot of us struggle with. We spend all our time focusing on the external without remembering to focus on the internal, especially in today's fast paced world where it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of the daily life and forget to take care of the most important person, ourselves. Now, for me, this realization hit hard when I found myself stuck in a rut, feeling unfulfilled and unhappy with the direction my life was heading. I knew I needed to make a change in my life. I knew I needed to improve some certain things in my life. And that's basically when I turned to self improvement and start working on focusing on myself. So, most of the time, what holds us back actually from focusing on ourselves, which can in turn lead to some certain changes in our life. And for many of us, it's the fear of failure. We are afraid to take on that first step because we are not sure what the outcome will be. Or maybe it's just a lack of motivation. We know what we need to do, but we just can't seem to get started with it. And then there's the feeling of being overwhelmed. We think we need to make some grand sweeping change, but it feels like too much, and so we do nothing instead. We might also be held back by negative self talk. We tell ourselves we are not good enough, that we are not worthy of change, or that we'll never be able to achieve our goals. And then we get caught up in our own criticism, and it paralyzes us from taking actions. And then there are the distractions, social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, TV, and video games. They all conspire to keep us from focusing on what's really important. But despite all these changes, I knew I had to push forward. I knew that if I wanted to make a real change in my life, I had to be brave and take that first step. Now, my journey into focusing on myself basically started with journaling. Now, I know it might sound simple, but it was a game changer for me because it allowed me to process my thoughts and emotions, to get clarity on what I wanted to achieve and to track my progress. And then from there, I started setting small goals for myself, small achievable goals that I could work towards each day. I started working on getting good content for my YouTube channel. I started working on learning on how to edit my videos. I also started listening to podcasts, watching productivity videos, and I also started mentorship by finding people who could inspire me and guide me on my journey. And as I continued on this part of focusing on myself, I started to notice real changes in my life. I felt more confident, more motivated, and more in control of my life. I started to pursue my passions, to take risks, and to push myself outside of my comfort zone, not bothering about the cringe that comes with me starting something new, not bothering about what other people will say when they see me on YouTube doing something else. And then that's when the magic happened. That's when I started to feel truly alive. But it wasn't easy. There were still days when I felt like giving up, when I felt like I was making no progress at all, when I felt overwhelmed and frustrated, like I was getting nowhere. But instead of me giving up, I took a step back. I breathed and I refocused. So reminded myself of why I started this journey in the first place, and I recommitted to my goal. And in that moment, something shifted. I realized that self-improvement and me focusing on myself isn't all about me being perfect. It's about me being better than I was yesterday. It's about taking small steps towards my goal each day. It's about doing things that my future self would be really proud of, no matter how small they may seem. And it's about being kind to myself along the journey, because at the end of the day, it might not be perfect. At the end of the day, it won't be smooth, it won't be easy. But the most important thing is that I stay true to myself, I stay true to my goals, and I put in effort and all my hard work. So what's your takeaway from my journey? Now, it's that self-improvement and focusing on yourself is really possible. No matter how stuck you may feel, it's all about taking that first step and then the next and then the next. It's about being patient, being kind, and being committed and serious to your goal. Because in the next year, what would you want your future self to say to you? Would you want your future self to be happy with you or to get angry with you for not putting in all the effort you now? So if you are on your journey towards finding yourself, I want you to remember that it's not a destination, it's a process, and it's going to take time. But just stay true to yourself, focus on your growth, focus on doing something better, and that is when you start seeing changes in your life. So if you are on your self-improvement journey and on your journey of focusing on yourself, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. What strategies have worked for you? What challenges have you faced? And don't forget to check out my other videos for more tips and inspiration on your journey towards self-improvement and finding yourself, and also becoming a better version of yourself. Thank you for watching.